Welcome to another episode of Ferris Sports Update. I'm your host this week, Harrison Watt. Today we're going to talk Bulldog Hoops with head coach Andy Brockma with the men's squad and head coach Kurt Westendorf with women's basketball. But first, glad to be joined by head coach of Ferris State Football, Tony Annese, after a 34-point playoff win at home. You don't really expect to blow people out in the playoffs. You don't expect to blow out rivals ever. But to do both on the same day in tricky conditions, I'm sure that's got to feel pretty good here for you this week.
No, it feels great. You know, they came over here with revenge or redemption on their mind. You know, a lot of talk before the game, and so we were pleased to get a really quick start on them. You know, we broke off an early run for a touchdown, and then we got, you know, a lot of early scores, and you know, by halftime I felt pretty comfortable.
I mean, when you look at a recipe to win a playoff game, be the less penalized team, don't turn the ball over, create turnovers if you can. Time of possession is helpful just in terms of getting your team defense off the field, but you had the ball for 38 minutes, only allowed them the ball for 21. That's a recipe that, I mean, in the playoffs, that almost can't be beat. How excited are you about that your team was able to put that together?
It's great, and also it kind of helps you for the next week, hopefully, because, you know, our defense, we didn't have a lot of guys that were on the field very long, and even offensively, because we subbed so much, our guys should be pretty fresh, so we're excited about the future. But from that perspective, you know, it's great. You know, ball security is critically important when you kind of take a look at the conditions, and you know, obviously those are challenging. And you know, what's funny is not one single one of our guys mentioned one thing about the conditions the whole, you know, before practice, or excuse me, before the game, and during practice throughout the week, and obviously during the game. We just went out there and did our thing.
As a fan, sitting in a warm hotel room for me this past weekend, it was really fun to watch this. But I'm sure for you, you probably were not having as much fun. I know you don't like the cold, but what a big start here for you guys.
Yeah, no, I hate the cold. Yeah, great start. Jared broke open a long run there, and you know, yeah, to me, the cold, to the snow, it just makes the game unpredictable, and I feel like I have less control, truthfully. I think I have a great team, but less control, and it's challenging, but, you know, I love the way we came and played.
Especially on defense. Again, your defense got off the field quickly a lot of good tackling, 4 interceptions on the day. I mean, really they just got the job done. Here you go up 14-7 after Grand Valley had tied it up. Just your response to them scoring was pretty loud.
Yeah, it was big, and you know, Centel Williams had a great game. He was in one of those tackles. He made a lot of tackles. He had 2 picks. You know, we played really fast. Here, Jared finds Marcus on a big play, and you know, those are key situations, and so very happy to, you know, be able to, you know, have some explosive plays like that.
People talk a lot about how one of Jared's strengths is, you know, just being elusive, extending plays, but his ability to throw the ball in these conditions, how impressed were you with that?
I was scared, actually, going into the week. I'm like, dang, I hope he can throw it, but he had a great Thursday, a great Friday, and you know, there's a jump pass to Mason. And so, yeah, I felt as the week wore on, he was really sharpening up his ability to throw in cold conditions.
Here you're up 30-7, and we're going to see you guys get off the field, your defense get off the field. Another turnover by Grand Valley here as you pick the ball up, and Cy Barnett kicking a 42-yard field goal in the snow. This isn't easy to do either.
I yelled out before I decided to kick a field goal. I said, Cy, can you make it from this distance? He goes, yes. I had no idea what distance it was. You couldn't see. You know, it took a while to try to figure out how far it was, and then when I found out it was 42, I'm like, dang! And he made it easily. So yeah, that's a football player kicking, you know, which is awesome.
We get a big man pick here from Austin Simpson. I know probably he was happy to get the turnover belt there, and then yeah. Malik Mitchell came in also and was really impressive in relief here in a tough spot.
Yeah, very impressive. He did a really nice job, and then Evan came in and scored a touchdown. So three quarterbacks, you know, scoring 3 touchdowns is pretty cool.
Another turnover here, and we talked, you know, the first time these two teams played, 33-7 is not an insurmountable halftime lead. Grand Valley proved that the first time these two played. How impressive was it having to go to a new quarterback in the second half for most of the, you know, 3 quarters of the game there? and just haven't put the game away.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. It really was. And yeah, I was at halftime it's 33-7, but you never know what can happen. But we scored and we just never took our foot off the pedal. We just kept on battling and battling and battling here after Marcus Taylor punt return all the way down to the 2-yard line. And then they get one late here. But it was a dominant performance for us.
As you look forward another week here, never stops you. The playoffs just get harder and harder in this gauntlet of a region. And for all the talk of rivalry last week, this rivalry has gone really back and forth in the last few years in the playoffs between you and Northwest Missouri State.
Yeah, they beat us in 16 in the national semifinals and in Maryville there, and they ended up winning it, going it away in the finals. So they had a great team. And then they came here in 18 and then in 19, and we were able to beat them both times. But it's a war every time you play these guys. They're well coached, they're well disciplined, and it's just a battle to the end. And it'll be the same way this Saturday.
These are two teams now that you win by 34 points against the top 5 team. They went on the road in the first round against Harding, is not an easy team to play against. One big on the road against Harding. Just how much does that say about these two programs and where they're at in the country?
Yeah, it's they played. They didn't get a bye week, so they played Central Washington in the first round, and then went to Searcy, Arkansas to play Harding. And we know Harding, so we know how hard it is to beat them. But they beat them by a good number. So both squads really we kind of want to play the same way. We want to out-physical the opponent. Their defense is so physically, it's scary how physical they are, and so it'll be fun. It should be a great game, but it's certainly challenging.
And we talked, off the top about the recipe for success in the playoffs: the no turnovers, create turnovers, less penalties to the opponent, all those things. When you go back to the tape of this game, do you use all those things you did to remind the guys, if we do all these things right, this is what we can be?
Yeah, if we can take care of the ball, last time we played them, our defense did a really nice job of keeping the score down. So you just don't want to give the opponent anything, and giving, as you mentioned, giving the opponent is turning the ball over and getting penalties and fueling drives that way and things of that sort. So we just don't want to do that. And so hopefully we stay locked in with the way we played the other day, with the philosophies that we played by, and by, just keeping our emotions in check and staying focused on, helping your team instead of hurting your team. Because, being a hockey guy, you know how it is. You can hurt your team and put your team at a disadvantage so quickly. Hopefully we stay locked in and not do that to ourselves.
Well, Coach, congrats on the win, and good luck again this week against
Thank
Northwest
you.
Missouri.
Appreciate it, Harrison.
When we come back, we're talking Bulldog Hoops next on the Ferris Sports Update.